Hello, welcome to Double Ketchup Mondays.
I'm Allison.
Sorry, it's a little hard because we're not sitting next to each other. As you can see, we have a new camera setup today. Please.
This is the show where we recap the podcast we put out on Thursdays after we had a chance to listen to it again.
And today we'll be talking about our episode on Trap, the 2024 movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
And those who've listened to the podcast know the reason we're doing an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
We have a deep history with M. Night Shyamalan. The first movie we made together is a remake of Signs.
True.
We didn't finish it, but it was a shot-by-shot remake.
True.
That ended in tragedy because most of my family quit because I was too intense.
And it doesn't feel all that different.
So what do you think about Trap?
Well, I have to say I had a ball. It is a horror comedy. They claim it's a psychological horror film on Wikipedia, something we talked about on the podcast, but it's really not. It is played for laughs and it succeeds. I was laughing the entire time. What say you?
Trap is a popcorn movie. And I can always tell it's gonna be a good crowd because when the Nicole Kidman AMC ad comes on and people start clapping, this trailer's been out for years now. People are clapping, it's a good sign, and I'm here for it.
When was the first time you saw the Nicole Kidman ad?
I don't remember. No idea.
You don't remember?
No.
Joe has a Nicole Kidman shirt on, but he has no
Didn't know I was gonna be
love
quizzed on this.
for this.
I love Nicole. Name 3 Nicole Kidman movies right now.
The others, White Rabbit or Rabbit, no?
It's called Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole, and Moulin Rouge. You name 3.
The Perfect Couple.
Ha! We just saw that little tile on Netflix. That's cheating!
Dogville. Dead Calm. To Die For.
You know more than I do.
Okay.
All right, we're going back.
We gave our opinions about how we felt about Trap.
Yeah.
What are our opinions about our opinions of Trap on the podcast?
Whoa. Well, I would say that my main takeaway in listening to our podcast this week was kind of a new analysis born of our own analysis, which I guess goes to show that you really are supposed to think about things and sit with them. I don't know, I feel like in this day and age we're moving so quickly, we have so much content, we can go on Reddit, see what other people are thinking. Like you don't really take time to develop your own ideas, at least I don't. In the movie, Josh Hartnett plays a serial killer, but he's also kind of a dopey dad, and he has a hard time reconciling his family life with his serial killer life, and he's at this stadium tour. The police have come to try and trap him, and throughout the movie he keeps escaping their traps. Spoiler alert. It ends with him getting out of arrest even, implying that this is going to go on forever. And there were some quotes from M. Night Shyamalan that we read on the podcast. I look at my daughters and think that as they're learning their craft and battling their demons, the one thing they're not compromising on is authenticity. They're teaching me that again. I think that as soon as you have success, you unconsciously want to be accepted. You might lose sight of yourself. Every time she said, I have another song, it would be like Christmas, and I couldn't wait to hear it. And every time I was in awe. I hope the audiences will feel that authenticity and magic from the music. He really believes in her. I mean, maybe that's wrong that because of that, he has the money to give her a platform, but I like it. Maybe the movie's really a metaphor for M. Night's life where what was I gonna say?
I forget. Allison came to me yesterday with a really good idea and I told her to write it down. Did you write it down?
I did not write it down. Wait. A serial killer is evil, a director is not evil, but there's a similar kind of egotism or desire to control that connects the serial killer to the director. Shyamalan's very clearly tied to his family. He loves his family so much that he even has worked with his daughters and put them front and center in his projects or helped them realize their own projects. And so I feel like this tension between the family life and the artist life or the serial killer life, maybe there's something there to it. And M. Night is this man who is painted to be arrogant and misfiring creatively in his 20s and 30s post Sixth Sense success that kind of aren't critically successful. And it's sort of like he just keeps creating the same trap, but then getting out of it because it brings audiences to the theaters.
I think we talked about it too in the podcast is M. Night is kind of his own genre.
That's true.
I wouldn't call them B movies, but there's I don't want to use the word cheesy, but it's
earnest.
There's an earnest quality to them.
I think we maybe were in a more earnest time in the 90s, early 2000s, more schmaltzy time.
Yes.
And now we're just so jaded.
And cynical.
And then I feel like this one works because it knows you kind of want to cringe or laugh at what's going on, so it sort of winks at you in that way, where it's sort of we know this is silly, Josh Hartnett, he's such a goofball, but he's a killer, ha ha ha.
But killer.
He's a what?
He's a hot killer. I think that Josh Hartnett continues to be a very attractive man. I think he's beautiful to look at. And when he was shirtless, it was a nice treat for the eyes. Allison thinks that Josh Hartnett has aged poorly.
I'm going to walk it back a
If you
little
don't
bit.
find it unattractive, that's fine, but you're wrong.
I have come to the conclusion that I do agree. When I was watching the movie, I was like, that's an objectively an attractive man. Because there's something about his presence, the way he like moved. Didn't wear a shirt for a little while. I was like, oh.
You liked that.
I mean, I did not like it. He still is kind of old for me.
What's the maximum you'd date?
38? What about you?
50.
Wow. I mean, you are 1 year older than me, so.
Once you get to 33, the pool opens up.
Give me those 50-year-olds. Bring them on.
What is this move? I'm uncomfortable. Let's move on. So we're doing this setup right now because we have a very special shoot that we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
That won't come out until September 12th, but it's for Suddenly Last Summer.
Yes.
We also recorded a podcast about Dee Dee.
We did.
We did a double feature, 8 Mile, and
Rocket Man. One of my favorite biopics.
so a lot of exciting things coming along the way. I also did a poll, who's the greatest fictional pop star? And I did Chase from the other two, Lady Raven from Trap, Connor from Popstar, and Allie from A Star Is Born. Who do you think won?
Chase, Allie.
By a lot.
I've only seen the Bradley Cooper A Star Is Born.
I've never seen it. Never seen any variation. I don't know why, but I'll be there for Joker Folie à Deux. Anything else?
Okay, favorite M. Night movie. And you can't say Signs, and you can't say The Sixth Sense.
I'll go with The Village.
I was going to say the same thing. I'll go with Trap then. Should I tell my M. Night story?
Yeah.
Which one should I tell? Or the one where he... Okay. You'll cut that out, right? I was like, hey, that's my line. So I have seen M. Night Shyamalan in person a few times because I'm from the area of Pennsylvania that he is from. I had gone to see a movie at the Regal Cinemas, which is by the Starbucks that my friends and I used to camp out at because we would never leave and we had nowhere else to go because it was suburban Pennsylvania. So we were doing that, probably annoying the baristas to no end. And then all of a sudden I looked over.
And M. Night was a barista.
Oh, M. Night and his daughters were there in the Starbucks and they were sitting down chatting. I was like, oh my gosh, it's M. Night Shyamalan. And then Caroline, she was like, excuse me. She wants to go into film. I was so embarrassed. But he gave me some advice. I am considering going into film. I really want to, but I also might go to law school. And he was like, don't go to law school. And I thought it was something really inspiring. But then he told me the money's in film.
But then you went to law school.
But I did for a year.
Make sure to listen to Queer Cinema Catch Up. Like, subscribe.
And also, it's Double Ketchup Mondays, which is ketchup, like the condiment. But it's Queer Cinema Catch Up, like time to catch up.
Oh, well, that might get confusing.
Oh well.